All right, Bucks win, Bucks win, Bucks win 2-0 on the season, and a huge win here as week one. Okay, you beat the Commanders, and it was a dominant win, but it's still the Commanders. Like, what do you take away from that? All that stuff. Here, though, a team that I picked to win the Super Bowl in the Detroit Lions. I think this Lions team is very good, although I don't think they played their best football today. I do still think they're a very talented team. You're able to go into Detroit and pull out a victory. Especially nice when this is the team that, beat the Bucks in the playoffs last year, so it feels a little bit nicer. Obviously, every Bucks fan would trade this win for the playoff win, but nonetheless, a very good game here by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's get into it all, because I think that there definitely were some breaks that went our way. I also think there were things that we didn't capitalize on that made things worse, including multiple dropped interceptions in this game by Tampa Bay, which could have really got things going the other way. But still able to pull out a victory. Where do we want to start here? I think we got to start with Todd Bowles, who, listen, I've given a lot of criticism. I called for him to be fired during his first year. I still don't think that was crazy at the time, but I do think that he has improved a lot as a coach since that rough first year with Tampa Bay. And the defensive play calling was fantastic in this game. I mean, again, I still don't know how much I love some of this talent defensively. I mean, you look at this team; they already have some struggles when it comes to their secondary. They didn't have Antoine Winfield. They lost Vita Vea in this game. I still don't love this pass rush. Kalijah Kancey's still out. And the fact that they were able to, despite all of that, have a really good defensive showing is incredible. I do think that, for Detroit, they're going to look at this and say, we were able to move the ball. We just weren't able to capitalize. And that really was the story of this game for the Lions. They had, I meant to pull up the stats before I started recording this video, but I think they had like 6 or 7 red zone possessions where they didn't get a touchdown. That's just crazy. Like, that's not going to happen every game. You can't rely on that. But there is still some good things Tampa Bay was able to do in this game. And especially their passing. They're really, the secondary is what you have to give credit, because they weren't getting much of a pass rush. The running game was mostly working for the Lions, and yet, you might look at this and say, wow, over 300 yards through the air, but on 55 attempts, only 307 yards. That's not a high yards per attempt here. Of course, the 2 interceptions as well certainly help, although for Goff, it's weird. I didn't think Goff had his best day, but I also didn't think either interception was his fault. The first one was, I think most people agree, it should have been a pass interference. Got lucky. Hey, I'll take when the refs decide to not call those. That helps me. But as a whole, I would be annoyed if I was a Lions fan when that happened. The other one was, it looked horrible, but I think Tim Patrick was supposed to cut over the middle. Tim Patrick was supposed to cut over the middle. So it looks like Goff threw it to nobody. But anytime you see, my rule of thumb, anytime you look at a play and say, well, that seemingly didn't go to anybody, it's almost always a communication thing, not just a bad throw. I didn't really have much of an issue with that play by Goff. I had an issue with Tim Patrick running the wrong route. But also, I thought Goff was missing throws and he made some couple bad decisions there as well. So, got to capitalize on that. Tampa Bay didn't capitalize on a couple of their potential turnovers, but defense still played very well. And again, some of these Lions players are still really good. That Jamison Williams play down the field. Jahmyr Gibbs had some really nice plays in this one. Amon-Ra St. Brown was their offense at times in this game. And then the offensive line is just ridiculous. So the fact that they were able to bend and not break against this offense, not a bad thing whatsoever, and very impressive. As for the offense for Tampa Bay, it was a weird game because outside of outside of Chris Godwin, they only had 5 completions, and in fact, they only had 12 completions in this game. Period. They just didn't have the ball a lot. It seemed like, because it's not like they were running the ball a ton. Baker did have 5 rushes of his own, and they ran the ball 17 times. They technically had more rushes than passes in this game, although if you take out the Baker scrambles, they had more passes than rushes. But still, it was a weird game. Baker did have that one interception that I just don't know what he was thinking there. It was a weird play where 2 Buccaneers players ran over basically in the same spot. Mayfield kind of throws it to both of them, and there's just too many Lions in the area. Bad decision by Baker. Other than that, I thought he played very well in this one. I really did. I think that he was, again, some of these wrong. That scramble where he's choking out a Lions player and picking up the first down was incredible. And then they ran a designed quarterback run right after to get yards that way. And with this Liam Cohen thing, it's interesting because, I feel like the running game still isn't working. The up the middle running game, that's an issue. Lions stopped the run well. They did that even last year, but still, it's an issue. But they started doing these kind of different types of runs, outside runs, which the Buccaneers had never done in years past, but they were working pretty well in this one. And then the Baker Mayfield designed run worked. Mayfield made just enough plays right when they got down, was able to, get a big pass to Jalen McMillan here. Mike Evans had a couple of plays, also had a drop in there as well. And then there was that tipped pass at the end. And I mean, this was a stressful game. Really, it was. I was on the edge of my seat for the entire fourth quarter, and it was a weird game. It just kind of felt like, for me, I just kind of felt like the Buccaneers were going to blow it the whole time. Maybe it's just because I have that much respect for the Lions and think they're a really good team, but I just kind of felt like, okay, something's going to go wrong here. Like, they keep giving the Lions opportunities. You can't keep giving them these opportunities and expecting to win. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but they were able to do it. They were able to survive by the skin of their teeth. Got to give a shout out to Chris Godwin, who was unreal in this game. Chris Godwin is all the way back to being like prime Chris Godwin, which is awesome to see. I mean, that changes the Buccaneers. If he is prime Chris Godwin again, if he's 2020 Chris Godwin again, this is a different team now. Not that he was a bad player last year, but he's had better years, including this year, it looks like. Yeah, a lot of defensive players individually played well. Even the guys that maybe made mistakes, like, McCollum had some mistakes, Izien had some mistakes, Tyke Smith had some mistakes, but then they also all stepped up and made plays as well, and they battled in this one. Izien and McCollum, both the guys with the interceptions, maybe not the guys you often look on this defense, but they made the plays that, both of the guys just had the ball go right to them, but still, you got to make the plays. Jordan Whitehead I'm just happy he's back as a Buccaneer. Listen, I know the Jets, I get why he went there, got money, all that. He belongs with the Buccaneer. He fits the Todd Bowles scheme so well. He was the leading tackler in this game. Really good stuff by him. A really, really fun win as a Bears fan. Oh, one thing I have to say, I can't believe I took this long to say it. I really want Luka Decky back. At this point, we definitely need... turns out we do not have a great right tackle situation if Luka Decky gets injured. For those of you who didn't see, our starting right tackle was injured. Aiden Hutchinson ended up with 5 sacks on the day. They tried... the Buccaneers started basically doubling him every play. They tried Hutchinson to go on the other side, and that didn't work out too well. So they had to go back to putting him on the right side with the double team. That was working better. That shows how good Tristan Wirfs is. But yeah, as a whole, like I said, the Lions made mistakes in this game. I mean that whole disaster at the end of the first half, not being able to come away with points, was just a horrible job by them, right? So definitely, if you play the Lions again, I think you're going to get a better team. But also, when the Buccaneers play again, I think they're going to play better, right? They had multiple dropped interceptions. There was, I could sit here and say, well, one of the Buccaneers interceptions that they caught was due to a penalty, but also they should have had a pass interference penalty on that 3rd down and 12 late in the game that would have helped the Buccaneers ice it. So it goes both ways, right? As a whole, though, it shows that as a Buccaneers fan, you can hang with the big dogs at this point. The Lions are a Super Bowl contender. They are. I'm still going to put them in the Super Bowl contenders tier even after this loss. The fact that you can beat a team like that kind of goes to show this is a really good team. It sucks that the Saints also might be really good, so it might be a battle there. But this is a really good football team, and that's really cool to see. So been a fun first couple weeks for the Buccaneers. Hopefully we can get the running game going a little bit in the future. But other than that, good stuff. And we'll play the Broncos next week. Hopefully can make this 3-0. Don't want to, no, nothing in the NFL is guaranteed. But could really help that could really help out because they got a tough schedule coming up before too long. Because then it's the Eagles, the Falcons, who they play Falcons twice in this next stretch, which I don't know what to make of them. The Saints, who are looking great right now. The Ravens, who aren't looking great right now, but I think will be good. The Chiefs and the 49ers to play those two teams in back-to-back weeks. So that's all in an 8-game stretch. Those are the 8 teams. Gonna have really helps to be up. 2-0 already, and would be really helpful to go 3-0. But yeah, a very fun week so far. Very fun start to the season. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.